Greetings, my fellow citizens of the world. My name is Ari Shaffir, and I come to you today not as an internationally recognized fashion icon, but as a leader of a small, relatively unknown comedy troupe by the name of Legion of Skanks. As you may or may not know, earlier this year, the Legion of Skanks decided to hold an election to decide who was best fit to lead this directionless band of miscreants. And they looked at all the skanks. They looked at Big J. Oakerson first. He's the most famous of all the skanks. People said, no, wouldn't be great. The term for president of Skanks is 2 years. And Big J's heart, it's not going to last more than 7 months. And then they thought, well, what about Dave Smith? He's the smartest of the skanks. He's got the best head on his shoulders, if you know what I mean. And as more people thought about it, the more like, is Dave even still part of the Legion of Skanks? I don't think I've heard him say 3 words for over a year. Seems like they just prop up a dummy, sit there and collect checks from snake oil salesmen of CBD and random boner pills. And then they thought, what about Louis J. Gomez? The J stands for jabroni. But you know what the people said? Louis is the reason we're in this mess in the first place. So the people were worried. They didn't know what to do. Who would be the leader? So they prayed. The people prayed. They prayed to the gods of comedy to send them a savior. And the gods of comedy, well, they listened. And they sent the people a messiah of mayhem. So I, Ari Shaffir, decided to run for president of the Skanks. My platform is simple. Every single week, I offer a sacrifice on the altar of comedy to you, the people. 1 week, I betrayed Joe DeRosa in such a vicious way that he didn't come back for 3 weeks. Another time, leader of my super PAC, Dan Soder, myself, my Vice President Shane Gillis, coordinated an attack on Big J. Oakerson while he was in his home state of Pennsylvania performing. Yet another time, I narrowly diverted a dosing meant for the greatest comedy mind of our generation, pushed it off to some other idiot. Every week, I gave you guys something to vote for me for. And 1 week, I made a promise to you. And I said, if you vote for me, I will hold a Skank Fest in New York City, outdoors in October in the park. I made you that promise. I made you that promise because I wanted your vote. I lied about that. I lied. It's not going to happen for 2 reasons. 1, I never intended it to. 2, we can do better. Yeah, sorry, Rebecca Trent. I lied to her. I made her think it was happening. Showed her like fake permits and stuff. Christine Oakerson, she knew about it the whole time. Sorry, Christine. I know you told me not to tell anybody, but I'm telling now. Enjoy the beating you're going to get tonight. I guess it's like every night, huh? How's that door? Still hitting you? Manishana halayla hazeh mikol halaylot. Enjoy your beating. But I thought I could do better. I could do better for the Skankonia. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do for you. My first act as president. But you got to come with me. You got to come with me on a trip down memory lane. Go back to the year 2010. Can you remember it? Can you remember it vividly? Ronald Reagan was the president. His young, upstart vice president, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, was viciously attacking homosexuals' right to marry. And 3 people, 3 very important people, were brought together in 2010 by the hands of fate. Those people, one at the time was a former bodyguard to Pennsylvania delivery prostitutes. Another was, at the time, working as an assistant manager at a professional barking service. And the third would someday in the future lead a failed rebellion against the United States government in 2026. Those people? Big J. Oakerson, Louis J. Gomez, the J is for jealousy, and Dave Smith. And for absolutely no reason at all, those 3 decided they were going to write a TV script, a sitcom pilot. Wrap your head around that. the Legion of Skanks, those guys, thought their best way to success was to write a straight down the middle television situational comedy pilot. Have you ever heard of Two and a Half Men? Have you ever heard of Big Bang Theory? Those are sitcoms. But they wrote that script, surprisingly, because no one knows if even one or two of them could read. At the time, I think Lewis was in adult English classes. But they wrote the script, they finished it, and then they started shopping it around. And much to their surprise, it was met with complete ignoring. Not a single television network would have anything to do with their pilot. In fact, their manager at the time dropped them because of how embarrassed he was that they made him go out with that piece of shit script. Literally no interest from all of Hollywood. And so, for a decade, the script disappeared. Until now. As fate would have it, this July, they smiled on us. Because a man who used to be an assistant for a high-level Hollywood executive, that high-level Hollywood executive was an award-winning filmmaker, award-winning, produced some of the masterpieces of our time, a great American, by the name of Harvey Weinstein. And this man was his assistant. When he got that script in 2010, he was so embarrassed by it that he didn't even want to disturb Harvey Weinstein from whatever else he was doing. He said, nah, what he's doing is better than reading this script. So he brought it home and he used it as a doorstop for 10 years. Until, luckily for us, late last year, a man in Wuhan, China, stuck a bat up his wife's pussy. And that bat whispered her secret into that pussy, and her mouth started vomiting out the COVID, novel, corona, whatever shit, fucking 19 virus. Spread across the globe, one of the best viruses of all time. And that man, that assistant to Harvey Weinstein, caught it. And he died. His son, who was estranged from him, came and took everything in his house, dumped it on the street. Among those things was that doorstop, that script that had been disappeared from the world. Now a homeless guy saw all this amazing stuff outside and said, and what did he grab? Just that script. Ripped the cover page off, took it, wiped his ass with it. It's the first time he wiped his ass in 9 years. Now how do I know that? How do I know that? Because right when he was wiping his ass, I came by, my new camera, I was videotaping it, laughing and videotaping as a severe lack of humanity happening. He saw me laughing. He was like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, well, it's you, sir. You're wiping your ass in the middle of the street, daytime. It's strange. It's strange in my world. I wasn't raised that way. But it's something about my smile drew him in. And he laughed too. But when he laughed, he turned the script and I saw what it was. Is that the famed Legion of Skanks TV pilot script? I said. And he said, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man, but if you want it, we can make a deal. And a deal was made. In return for that pilot script, he asked for one thing and one thing only. He asked for my soul. I thought about it. Should I give this man my soul in return for the Legion of Skanks TV pilot? Now, keep in mind, Legion of Skanks as a podcast hadn't even gotten together yet. This is just them meeting. And I thought it was too valuable. Yeah. I gave him my soul in return for the script. We shook on it. I mean, not actually shook. He's homeless. I'm not going to touch his hand. But we sort of, did this, made an X on a piece of paper. And then I went on my way. Homeless man, died. 6 weeks later. Starvation, not the coronavirus. Happy ending. And when he died, he got a rude awakening. He found out the Jews, in fact, have no souls. He got God. But now I have possession of the script. So what was I to do with it? Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Table read. Wait for it. I, Ari Shaffir, as my first official act of the president of Legion of Skanks, proudly present a table read of that Legion of Skanks TV script. Sunday, October 18th, 8 p.m., Now hold on. You might say, how can I get tickets? I'm not going to be in New York. Well, that's where I come in. Where they thought small, where Louis J. Gomez, the J stands for retarded, thought small on live sales, I think globally. And how can I bring the script to all the people across America, across Canada, across England, and across the world who want to be there? Well, one way. And here it is, everybody. My first act as president. Pay per fucking view. That's right, you can be there for $10.53. You can get a ticket. 8 p.m. East Coast, 5 p.m. East Coast. On Sunday, October 18th, this Legion of Skanks first ever pay-per-view. That's right, everybody. We're going international. Under the leadership of one man and one man only, Ari Shaffir. I am taking this podcast from its tiny origins into the juggernaut that I know it can become. So you need to get tickets. Go to ymhvirtual.com, search through, and you will find tickets available for the pay-per-view. It'll be available live and then for 1 week only and then gone forever. Only one person can bring this to you. Keep that in mind. Only one person can bring that to you. Think about that. One person. What's his name? That's right. Tom Segura. He came to this country as an immigrant with 30 pesos in his pocket. Back then he went by the name Tomas Monteciliano de Seguro. Tomas Monteciliano de Seguro. He changed that name to Tom Segura. And he started an empire. The Your Mom's House empire. He got really big. He outjewed all the Jews in Hollywood. And now he has a platform for pay-per-views. And he's allowing me to use it as the first test case. You know why? Because about a year ago he said, hey, do me a favor, fuck over Bert Kreischer, however you see fit. And I was like, however I see fit? He goes, however, make it hurt. And I did. And now he's paying back the favor. And we're going to have a pay-per-view event, everybody. So get tickets. The link is down there. YMH Virtual, if you're listening to this, you got to search through it, but the full link is down there. Get tickets, $10.53. Tell all your friends. The live tape read. Everybody's going to be there in their original parts. These parts are written for people who somehow have not failed out of the industry and somehow not got big enough to not want to do this. These guys would have won awards for these roles. These guys would have won Emmys. These guys would have won NAMBLA Best Newcomers. And they're all going to be there. Dan Soder, a veteran of table reads. He was at the shooter table read, playing the fucking lead role. Ari Shaffir. All three Skanks will be there. Even probably Dave Smith. Justin Silver playing the role he was made to play. It's going to be a party, you guys. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime party. And it's available only on pay-per-view. What are you doing on Sunday, October 18th? Well, I know what I'm doing. We're doing a table read. A motherfucking table read of a script I sold my soul for. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the president of Legion of Skanks. And I will do more for this fucking podcast than anyone thought possible. I will do it for spite, to make Louis feel bad about himself. Louis J. Gomez. The J is for Juan. Spite will drive us all. Join me. Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. East Coast, 5 p.m. West Coast, and whatever the fuck else in England, for the Legion of Skanks, live, once in a lifetime, pay-per-view, table read of the original script that started it all. I'm Ari Shaffir, and I stand for mayhem, and I stand for quality entertainment.